this afternoon, we are here to flag off food, as has been mentioned by our CS responsible. We have in these 50 trucks, 20,000 bags of rice, 20,000 bags of beans, and assorted animal feed, together with cooking oil that will go to the various parts of our country that today are facing serious challenges of drought. 3.5 million citizens in the Republic of Kenya are today severely affected by drought, not to mention livestock and other areas that are affected, delivery of water, the absence of pasture in many parts of our country. Currently, we have 23 counties across the country that are suffering the very serious and severe effects of drought. To avert any untoward further suffering of citizens in these areas, I did ask my deputy to convene a meeting of governors and all the other stakeholders, and we now have a plan of action to build on the plan that existed before, so that we can efficiently and expeditiously deal with the effects of drought in the various parts of our country. The brief that we have is that the many people who are suffering food, water, and many livelihoods, loss of many types of livelihoods, including livestock. As I have said, about 3.5 million Kenyans are affected in this manner. The food we are flagging up today, the next consignment, I have already agreed with the ministry concerned and with Treasury to make resources available so that the next tranche will be on Friday, and on a weekly basis we will assess the situation and see what this intervention will mean for the people around the country and what additionally can be done as we go into the future. I want to commend development partners who are working with us, who are distributing food, those engaged in cash transfer on the ground. I have asked that we are going to have a meeting on Wednesday with our development partners so that we can harmonize our approach and make sure that we avoid any duplication in any part of the country, and so that we can leverage on the county teams that are assisting in identifying beneficiaries of this food and other items. I have also instructed the ministry responsible for water to urgently mobilize water bowsers so that we can deliver water to many parts of Kenya, and under the direction of the Deputy President, they will map out the areas that require water bowsers together with the governors present here and those who are not here, so that again we can be able to address that challenge of water around the country. Thirdly, we have also agreed that county governments will equally make provisions in their budget, even if they have to slow down some of their projects and programs, so that we can take care of this situation. The same thing we are doing at the national government. We expect county governments to adjust their budget so that there can be available additional resources to take care of the drought situation in the country. I have also told the Deputy President, being the chair of IBEC, to make sure that county governments are facilitated to adjust their budgets so that they can make resources available, working with the Comptroller of Budget and all the other institutions so that we can take care of this situation, because indeed it is a very severe situation. I also want to say that to thank the military, NYS, our development partners for mobilizing the transportation of this food around the country and into the counties that require this food. And we are looking forward to working with others to make sure that we facilitate this whole exercise. I have also asked the Treasury to work with the counties so that they can favorably consider adjustments of the various interventions that are required to make it much more easy for Kenyans to deal with the current situation. We will also be mobilizing resources for animal offtake, where we find that the animals are too weak. We're going to work with Kenya Meat Commission to make sure that there is an offtake program that will facilitate citizens not to be stuck with livestock when they do not have pasture. And finally, let me also say that I have asked the Deputy President to, on a weekly basis, make these consultations possible so that we can monitor as government the steps that are required for us to ensure that no Kenyan dies of hunger as we manage the effects of climate change and as we think on the long-term solutions to this challenge. Finally, I am asking all our farmers across the country that we are now in the process of facilitating availability of fertilizer in many parts of our country, especially those with short rains. We will also mobilize for fertilizer for the long rains. I want to ask all farmers who had cut back on acreage under food production that the government of Kenya will support them fully in these short rains and in the coming long rains so that we can produce sufficient food to take care of our food requirements as a country. And in the short term, we are working as part of our plan to ensure that we transit our agriculture from rain-fed to irrigation. And in so doing, we are going to be working with the private sector on the delivery of water under our public-private partnership. As I have committed, we are going to work on the law so that we create provision for water purchase agreements that will make it possible for the private sector to invest in the water sector, and we can buy water from them, and we do not have to deploy huge resources from government in that sector. The private sector can work with us in our bigger plan of ensuring that Kenya becomes a food-secure nation. It is my hope that this will be among the last times we are doing this kind of ceremony, where Kenyans are facing starvation and hunger, and we have to do this. I think it is possible for us, going into the future, to have a much more proactive approach to situations like this so that we manage them ahead of time and avoid situations of a crisis like the one we are in. For the last 4 years, we have had failure of rain in many parts of Kenya. And that is what has exacerbated this situation. And hopefully, we should be able to be better prepared as we go into the future. I want to thank all the stakeholders, the governors, for undertaking that they will work with us and work with all the other stakeholders in not just making sure that we have additional resources for food, but also working together with our development partners in making sure that this food gets to the right beneficiaries and there are no duplications and there are no issues of integrity around the distribution of food to those who are in need. So I want to say thank you very much for all those who have made this possible. I look forward to making sure that this situation is managed and we don't lose no citizen to hunger because of the drought situation we have in the country.